What is going on, guys? Fitcho here, and welcome back to the Fitcho Career. It is round 17, the third last race of the season. We are getting very, very close to the end now, and that means only about 3 or so weeks till F1 2016. Well, actually, it's about 4 from when I'm recording this, but from when you're seeing this, only about 3 weeks till F1 2016. It is so close now. I am super, super hyped for it. And this morning, which is about a week ago from when you're seeing this, Arava and Matt just released some gameplay and showing off some of the career mode, and I'm so damn hyped for that game. I've already picked what team I'm going to be doing career mode with. I'm not sure if I've actually told you by the time you're seeing this, but I might as well just tell you now. I am going to be using Manor Racing for F1 2016 career mode. It's going to be a long grind career mode, 10 seasons. I probably won't go through all 10 seasons, but I want to win the championship with Manor. It's going to be a lot of fun, making the most of the development system. But let's stop talking about F1 2016. That's a few weeks down the track, but here we are today in COTA for the 17th round of the 2014 season here on the Fitcho Career, a track that, I don't know, it's pretty well balanced track. You got the S's at the start, very high downforce section will help our car, but then of course you got the long back straight. Then the last handful of corners, especially that very long right-hander, that requires a lot of downforce. So I think this is going to be a pretty solid track for us. Now, if you do enjoy this video, make sure to smash that like button, and if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Now, last episode, we had a bit of an interesting episode. We sort of came together with Lewis Hamilton down the pit straight, no fault of my own. Now, I haven't even edited that video as of the time I am recording this, and I mentioned that I wanted to penalize Lewis Hamilton because I am in control of the championship. I have control over the points, so at the time of me recording this, I haven't even uploaded to see what you guys said, but by the time I actually upload this, I will have made up my mind. I'll put something on the screen so you can see what penalty I have given Lewis Hamilton. But here we are in COTA. Let's jump into qualifying and see how we go for the American Grand Prix. Okay, a quick summary from practice. I am very, very comfortable in the car, but we're slow as shit. I only went out on the primes, but I ended up many, many seconds slower than the Mercedes and our teammates are on options. Unless the delta between the tires is like 2 or 3 seconds, we are very, very slow here. I didn't spend much time doing laps or anything, getting used to the track. I sort of felt quite comfortable right from the get-go. I didn't even put the option tires on. I did it all on the prime tires, and I was very comfortable on those tires, and these options feel even better, as you'd expect. But it's going to take an almighty effort from us to be anywhere near the top from what I've seen in practice. But then again, practice times don't mean everything, and we might come out strong in qualifying. I guess I have to wait and see. Holy crap, our teammate Daniel Ricciardo has gone and got pole by 4/10 over the Mercedes, and Force India has out-qualified us. We qualified in P5, and I really don't know how we're 1.7 seconds off our teammate. I really don't know what more I could do out there. Maybe it's the setup. I didn't really work too much on the setup. I just sort of copied my Mercedes setup from one of my previous career modes. I didn't do much setup work, but holy crap, Daniel Ricciardo has gone and snagged pole by a large amount, in truth, considering he's in a Red Bull and his competition are the Mercedes. So that's a very impressive qualifying by our teammate, not so much us. We have not had a good qualifying. I don't know, I'm just not comfortable around the track, but I'm not quick around the track. I'm not too sure exactly what's going on. It might be the setup, but the car feels good. I don't know. I guess we'll see how we go in the race. The car's been feeling good. We should be fairly consistent. I haven't been making many mistakes, so maybe that'll help us in the race. I'm not sure how our tyre wear is going to be. I guess we'll have to find out, but I just want to apologize if there's any sort of buzzing noise in the background. My wheel has just been making a lot of noise in the last few days. I don't know why. It's giving up on life again, and this is my new one that I didn't get. I got not that long ago. Now, I was talking to Jason the other day, who has the same wheel as me, whose second wheel is broken, and he told me this nice little sort of analogy. Thrustmaster wheels are a bit like Alfa Romeos. So they're great, but they're very unreliable, and yeah, this one is trying to give up on life. I don't know, it's making a lot of noise, which is really bad timing considering F1 2016 is coming up. But we have qualified P5 on the grid for the United States Grand Prix. Without further ado, let's jump into the race. Okay, here we are on the grid in COTA, and we've got a Force India in front of us to the left, and of course our teammate is right at the front of the grid. Very impressive qualifying from both of them. Like I said, we are not quite on the pace here in COTA at this stage. We've still got a very long race ahead of us. It's going to take 48 minutes apparently. It's a 28 lap race with a 3-stop strategy, looking like the fastest, pitting on lap 6 or 7 for more options, and again on 12 or 13 for options again, then 19 or 20 for primes, going to the end for the 28 lap United States Grand Prix. And let's jump straight into this race, see how we can do. Hopefully we can get a few positions off the start, because that's going to be our best bet considering we are a little bit off the pace here. Maybe we'll come good during the race. Like, we came good in qualifying compared to where we were in practice. Maybe we can make another jump and we'll be able to compete with our teammate. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Without further ado, let's jump into the race. Here we are, on the grid in COTA. We've got 4 lights, 5 lights, lights out, and away we go. And a lot of wheel spin, as normal. Probably a bit more than normal, actually, as we've got Massa going past us already, and we've got Bottas on our inside. We're trying to get up the inside of Hulkenberg, and Bottas has made a lightning start from a fair way back on the grid, and we're actually going to look to his outside. We're a bit far back, we've got no one on our inside. We're actually going to go up the inside of Valtteri Bottas into the S's, and we're up into 4th place. We've got our teammate leading. We're right on the back of Nico Rosberg here. Hopefully we can try and find a way past. We're going to look up the inside, a very late and aggressive move, but a very good move, a successful move. We move up into a podium position at this early stage of the race, but he's going to come back at us with his Mercedes engine. Maybe not this time down the straight, but definitely next time around. You can see he's catching a lot, but our teammate Daniel Ricciardo is still leading the race, so he got a pretty good start, managed to hold his lead, but he's going to be under fire from Hamilton. But the question is, can he hold it, and can we hold on to the back of those two? We were right on the back of Lewis Hamilton as we really caught up to him through the S section, got a much better run than him. Can we try the same move we did on his teammate Nico Rosberg? We go for it. He's not going to hold it around the outside. We make it up into 2nd place. Is now Red Bull 1-2 here in COTA, but how long is that going to last as Lewis Hamilton is going to the outside and he has gone right back past us. Absolutely nothing we could do there, but maybe we could launch another move up his inside into this left-hander at the end of the very long straight, and we do, and we make it successful. Back up into 2nd, and the Red Bull 1-2 is re-established for now. Ricciardo hasn't pitted, so I reckon I'm going to pit. The end of lap 5, the team is calling me in at lap 6, but knowing the game, Daniel Ricciardo will come in next lap, even though they've called me in, so I'm coming in this lap, trying to get an undercut on our teammate. Now, we had dropped a little bit off our teammate. We're about a 2.5 second gap, and it was about that to the Mercedes behind, which was Lewis Hamilton. It looks like one of the Mercedes looks like Rosberg. I can't actually see the helmet, but it looks black, so I'm going to say that's Rosberg behind us has pitted. Yes, it is Rosberg that has pitted. So Hamilton and Ricciardo are doing another lap, but me and Rosberg are getting an undercut. So it's going to be interesting how this actually plays out. But this is what we need to try and catch Ricciardo, because on the worn tires we just couldn't get there. We were chewing through our tires quite quickly, especially considering that we sort of had to get past the Mercedes and spent a lot of time in the dirty air early on in the race, so we wore out our tires a lot quicker than we should have. So we were just falling back at the end of that stint. We just had to pit a lap earlier. I just had a feeling he'd pit on the lap that they were telling me to pit, just knowing the game. So I decided to come in that lap earlier, and it looks like Mercedes has followed in. One of the Mercedes did follow in and sort of shadowed our strategy. So it's going to be interesting how this actually plays out. Okay, Ricciardo actually hasn't pitted. I thought he would have pitted at the end of lap 6, but it doesn't look like he has. So we're going to have a 2-lap undercut on our teammate, which should help us a lot. Hopefully it's enough to reel in that 2.5 second margin he had over us. Hopefully Magnussen and whoever that is in front of us, in front of him, Jean-Eric Vergne, our old teammate, don't get in the way and play havoc with us too much here. As we're going to try and actually go around the outside of Kevin Magnussen, because it turns into the inside. Nicely past him. He didn't hold us up too much, but it's not ideal having to fight through these back markers. And our teammate has continued on for another lap. Both Ricciardo and Hamilton, I'm guessing, looking at the mini-map, have continued on for another lap. So we've got a 3-lap undercut now. It's going to be interesting. I think they must be on a different strategy to us. They must be trying to go to like lap 10 or something, trying to pull off a two-stop strategy or something a little bit different. So it's going to be interesting come the end of the race. We've got a Red Bull and a Mercedes on the same strategy, and the other Red Bull and the other Mercedes on a different strategy, which they are both on the same. So it's going to be interesting how this actually plays out. Okay, Daniel Ricciardo is in the pit lane right now, and we are actually going to get past him. There he is. You can just see him on the left, or his name sort of at the top. You couldn't actually see his car, but we were up into second place as Raikkonen is still out. He hasn't pitted yet, so he's going for a very, very long first stint. It's going to be interesting when he comes in. Surely it'll have to be soon, but he's not going to be a player in this race, I don't think, unless Ferrari pull off some sort of master strategy. And behind us you can see that is Lewis Hamilton, so he has got past our teammate Daniel Ricciardo. I think he might have gone for like an undercut on Ricciardo and pitted a lap earlier, or he might have even stayed out, I'm not too sure, but he has passed Ricciardo and he is very quick on fresh tyres, and he is going to be all over our gearbox any second. Well, he pretty much is already, so this is going to be interesting. And I think Raikkonen has pulled off into the pit lane, and here comes Lewis Hamilton with the aid of DRS. This is now a battle for the lead, and he's gone past us with ease, and we're going to look back up his inside, but we cannot make that stick. He just shut the door in our face there, and he's got the move done for the lead. Now it's going to be tricky for us to hold on to him. And here comes our teammate Daniel Ricciardo. He pulls straight inside, and we are completely helpless, and we've got, it looks like, Nico Rosberg coming as well. I'm not actually going to fight back against my teammate. He's got fresh tyres. There is no point. We need him to go catch Lewis Hamilton. A Red Bull win is better than a Mercedes win, even if it's not me driving the Red Bull, the victorious Red Bull. But give him a chance. We're going to be pitting the end of the next lap as these tyres are really starting to fall off the cliff. And surely Rosberg's are as well. I don't know, maybe I've taken a bit more life out of the tyres than he has, but he has been following Ricciardo for a fair few laps. So in the dirty air, that will have worn his tyres out a fair bit, but he is staying on for another lap, and he's probably going to pit the end of this next lap, like I will be. But here he comes. DRS open, we're going to defend, go to the inside, and he's gone right past us, so we can just fall back in line. But then we're going to go up his inside into turn number 1, and we managed to hold on to third place for now. Okay, here we go. Here comes Rosberg again with the DRS. We're going to defend, and it's pointless even trying to defend, but we are going to attack him. We can't quite get it back up his inside. He got so far past us with the DRS, so we weren't even close enough to really dive bomb him, which is rather depressing. Maybe we can try something to this next corner, except it is a very tricky braking zone, and I almost stuffed it up Rosberg's behind there. But we managed to just hold on to the car, but I ain't going to be pitting the end of this lap. The question is Rosberg going to be going into the pit lane as well? I guess we're about to find out. They come around the second last corner, and I struggle a little bit. He's coming into the pit lane as well, and we're gonna... Yes! Beautiful move! The game lets you do it, so I'm gonna do it, pretty much. That was a beautiful overtake. Completely illegal, I would say, but... Well, I guess it's not completely illegal. Sebastian Vettel did it in China this year in real life, so I guess it's a legit move, and it's worked. We're back past Rosberg, and the start of lap 13, we've made our second pit stop of the race onto some more option tyres. Around lap 20, or actually 18 or something, we'll be pitting for primes and going to the end, but I'm not too sure what strategy Ricciardo and Hamilton are on, but we're in a bit of a fight with Rosberg, who looks like he might have almost got tangled up with another car there at turn 1. It looks like they didn't quite make contact. So Ricciardo has taken the lead. Does that mean he has made an on-track pass, or has Lewis Hamilton come into the pit lane? I have no time to check right now. I've got Nico Rosberg with the aid of DRS going up our outsides. We head up the hill into turn number 1. We've got the inside line. We managed to hold on to the position for now, but I'm curious as to what has happened between Hamilton and Ricciardo. Has there been an on-track pass? Has Ricciardo caught up and passed him? Or has Hamilton pitted? I'm really not too sure. I'm sort of a bit preoccupied with the other Mercedes right behind me. Here comes Nico Rosberg. We are going to defend like normal, but He's gone right past us. We're going to launch a dive bomb, and he sees us at the last second and moves out of the way, very aggressive and sort of taking advantage of the way the AI drive in this game there, and is getting it back up the inside of Nico Rosberg. It's going to be tricky to hold him behind us, so I'm still not too sure what the situation is with Ricciardo and Hamilton. I looked on the mini-map a little bit earlier. Ricciardo seems to be all by himself, so does that? I think that means Hamilton will have pitted, but I haven't seen him. He must have come out in front of us. He must be ahead of Raikkonen, but he must be a long way down the road, so I'm not too sure exactly what's going on, unless Lewis has made a catastrophic mistake or come out behind us and I've not noticed, but he would be a fair way behind. I'm sure he would be closer to Rosberg if he had pitted, but here comes Rosberg. He's going to our inside as we head up into turn number 1, and we're going to try and do a bit of a switchback line on him. It doesn't really work as we lose the back end a little bit there, but he managed to go to the inside for once, something the AI don't seem to do very often if you do defend properly. But we're going to go around the outside in the S's, and I ran off the track. I need to give that position. He's not going back. Okay, here we are on the back straight. Rosberg's going to get past us with ease. I should have given him his position back after that little incident in the S's, but he just caught me out. He went so slow in the middle of that S, and I just had to sort of go wide, and I actually made a little bit of contact and ran a bit wide, but there, he has got the position done. Now it's all sort of even out, but it has lost us a little bit of time, and now I have to get back past the Mercedes, which is going to be very, very tricky with that Mercedes engine and our Renault. We're going to go for it up the inside here. I'm in first gear. Shit. How on earth did that work? That was one of the scrappiest, awkward, uncoordinated overtakes I've seen in a while. I was all over the place, completely out of it. I don't know. Somehow ended up down in first gear, but somehow that move sort of worked. Here comes Nico Rosberg. We're going to defend the inside this time as we head up into turn number 1. He looks to go around the outside, but it is not going to work, Nico. You know that feeling all too much. Not being able to get a move done around the outside. Okay, Hamilton has just taken the lead, so Ricciardo is in the pit lane, and Rosberg is going to our outside again, but who is that? He's going to get in the way on the apex of the corner. That is Daniel Ricciardo, who's come out, and it looks like, I'm going to say he's on the prime tyres, and he's going to be going to the end for now. We have to make another pit stop, so Daniel Ricciardo has kept hold of his tyres very, very well there, and has managed to make one less stop than me and Rosberg, and I have a feeling that Hamilton is... That was stupid. That was stupid. I really wanted to get past him and try and break away from Rosberg, use him as a buffer, and I just went too aggressive. The same move I went for in the Rosberg career here, and it ended in a very similar way. But I think in the Rosberg career I completely spun out. This time I did not. I need to learn. Don't go for an aggressive move at that corner. I've done it twice now in 2 different career modes. I never learn, do I? But we're going to go right up the inside. That is an aggressive move. But a brilliant dive bomb there on Nico Rosberg. As clean as you like. Made it stick. Okay, end of lap 19. And we will be coming into the pit lane. And we're going to be jumping onto the prime tyres and going to the end of this race. And as I thought, Rosberg has followed us into the pit lane. Hopefully we get a decent stop. We can stay ahead of him. We did have a little bit of a buffer over him there, and we are going to come out ahead of him, and a little bit ahead of him. He doesn't look like he's had the best stop. He is further back than when we did come into the pit, so that pit stop has worked out okay. But we're on the prime tyres. We'll be going to the end of this race. Hopefully I didn't compromise our teammate too much. We're actually down to 6 now, and Raikkonen has come out ahead of us, so I think Ferrari have actually played a very nice strategy. I think he is now on the prime tyre. We might actually be racing Raikkonen for position, but I think there must surely be a few cars out of sequence a little bit further up. Okay, a few cars have pitted, and we've actually got yellow flags up ahead, but they've actually gone away now. But Raikkonen is currently in a podium position, and I think, from what I understand, he is actually in position there. He is going to the end from here. I think he made a stop a few laps earlier than we did. But he's getting held up. That is a Mercedes going very, very slow. That is Lewis Hamilton going very, very slowly. And I'm almost getting caught up with a back marker. I think that's Kamui Kobayashi. He's always getting in our way, but we are now onto the podium. As I'm not too sure what has happened to Lewis Hamilton. I must remember to go find that in the replays. I think he must have got tangled up with a back marker or something, and hopefully holds up Rosberg a little bit as well. And we could be on for a Red Bull 1-2 if we can catch and pass Raikkonen, or he pits again, but I don't think he will be. From what I have sort of seen, I'm guessing he is going to the end from here. We've caught right up to the back of Kimi Raikkonen. I'm pretty sure Rosberg is almost within DRS behind us. This is turning out to be quite a tasty battle, or could be a tasty battle for the second and third spots on the podium. I believe Jeff just told me Rosberg is in mix 3 rich revs, and we are up on fuel, because it's the first time pretty much all race I've checked our fuel. Normally we are usually a long way down on fuel, but not today. We've actually managed to keep our fuel pretty well without even trying to do any sort of deliberate fuel saving. But if you look in my mirrors, Rosberg is all over them. It's the only thing you can see in those mirrors is that silver arrow. This is going to be an intense battle for the final few laps to see who gets the final 2 places on this podium. And there is an incident in the next part of the track. What has happened? The yellows are still out, and Alonso has run into trouble, and then I've just missed my braking zone for that second last corner, but that is okay. And is Rosberg still behind us? Yes, he is. He has not been caught up in that incident. We have DRS off Raikkonen, but we have not got a good exit at all, and here comes Rosberg. He's going right across to the inside. Now we're going to swap over to his inside as we now go up into turn number 1. We have the inside line, and we manage to hold on to the position from Nico Rosberg, but this is helping Kimi Raikkonen, allowing him to get away a little bit. But Rosberg is right behind us. He's closer to us than we are to Raikkonen. Hopefully we are within DRS of the Finn, because we really need that to help us defend from Rosberg. It's not going to be much help, but we need anything we've got. And we do get it. We move to the inside to defend the inside line, but it's not going to be any use. Can we look up the inside of Rosberg? Yes, we can. Into the left-hander. We make the move stick. We are still on that final step of the podium, but this is just helping Raikkonen. I know I just said that, but this is really helping Raikkonen and me and Rosberg battling like this. So hopefully Rosberg can just sod off for the last couple laps. We can try and catch Raikkonen and get that Red Bull 1-2 that we want. Okay, we've really closed up to Raikkonen through the final bit of this lap. We're going to get a nice run through the S's. We're right on the back. We even make a little bit of contact and even more contact with Raikkonen. He goes very, very slow through that section. We're actually going to go up the inside. I didn't go for that corner that I tried earlier. I've learned, and he slowed down heaps again as he cuts right across our nose. Raikkonen is all over the shop here, and here comes Rosberg. We're actually going to go for a move on Raikkonen, aggressive move up the inside of this corner. Hopefully we can still get a reasonable exit. We squeeze Raikkonen out, and we make the move up into second for the Red Bull 1-2. We're coming down the straight. I get DRS to help defend myself from where the DRS detection point was, and it doesn't look like Raikkonen gets anything. And when Rosberg's going to our inside, we're like 3 wide as we come down the back straight here. We are 3 wide. Rosberg cuts the corner a little bit. We try and get a switchback line on Rosberg. We're going side by side. We're going to look right around the outside of Nico Rosberg. We managed to make the move stick into second place. And there's a Red Bull 1-2 on the cards here, but we've got another 3 laps to defend. Onto the main straight we come. Rosberg has DRS as we cross the start-finish line. There he goes as we head up into turn number 1. It's going to have to be a very aggressive move into turn number 1, and we go for it. And we manage to hold on to second place. We get a massive bit of oversteer there. Spin the tires up, light them up. Not what we want to be doing at this stage of the race. We do manage to hold on to second place. I thought that we had just lost the position there with that little mistake, but Rosberg could not capitalize, thankfully. And onto the DRS straight we go. We've got Rosberg right behind us. We're going to defend the inside line like we always do, but what is the point? Look at the straight line speed of that Mercedes. Now we are going to have to go for a very aggressive move up the inside, and we are so far back we can't even do that. So we are down to P3. We're going to have to push very, very hard to try and get back past Nico Rosberg in that Mercedes. Very, very quick, especially in a straight line as we lose the back end again. And I'm not sure we can get this Red Bull 1-2 here. Now, Rosberg has got back past us. Can we try and move into the last corner? Yes, we can. Yes. Making the most of the way the AI behave on this game. And if you just get close enough, they'll back out on the apex of the corner. And just making the most of that. But even with the aid of DRS, Rosberg is coming. He might have got DRS off Jules Bianchi. I'm not too sure. He must have to close at that speed even when we have DRS. But he was right there, filling our mirrors. We've got a proper fight on our hands. 1 and probably 3/4 laps remaining here. We've got Jules Bianchi getting in the way. We're going to go right around the outside of him. Hopefully he holds up Nico Rosberg a little bit there. And I think he might just have done so. We're about to start the final lap of the race. And you can see the gap we have over Rosberg. It is 1.5 seconds. He is not in DRS range. Jules Bianchi really held him up. That next section is just a section you can't really get past in, where I passed Jules Bianchi. That's why I went so aggressively around the outside. I just knew that if I could get past Jules there, he might hold up Rosberg and just give us that buffer that we need, and that might just be enough to secure this Red Bull 1-2, but we have more back markers in the way here. We've got Max Chilton getting in the way. Really in the way here, Max. You're really in the flipping way, and that has cost us big time. We're going to chuck it up into rich revs. We're up on fuel, so we can afford to do so. And now we've got the DRS straight, and Rosberg has closed right in on us thanks to that. Thank you, Max Chilton, you bastard. You may have just wrecked this Red Bull 1-2 as we get DRS to help us defend, but what use is it going to be? Here comes Nico Rosberg to our outside as we head down the DRS straight for the last time. We are going to have the inside line for the corner. We're going to squeeze out the German, and that might just be enough to hold on to this Red Bull 1-2. There aren't many more passing opportunities on this track. The next one is probably the last corner. And Daniel Ricciardo has won the United States Grand Prix as Adrian Sutil is getting in the way a bit. And we run it way off the track there. As we come round the final corner, we're going to finish in second place for Red Bull 1-2 here at Cody. You couldn't ask for a better result. The only way it could have been better if the roles were reversed. There you go. Daniel Ricciardo on the top step of the podium, and then we're in second, and we managed to hold off Rosberg there for third. I think it was Raikkonen in fourth. He played a very nice strategy. He was never really involved in that sort of front battle, but he managed to get himself involved there with the strategy. But Daniel Ricciardo playing a blinder with the strategy. We made an extra stop, and so did Rosberg, and I think Hamilton was on the same strategy as Ricciardo, but I think something happened to him. I think he must have got caught up with the back marker. I will have a look at that in the replays. But there you go, Daniel Ricciardo has won the United States Grand Prix from us in second, heading home a Red Bull 1-2, the first of the season, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's the first Red Bull 1-2 of the season. Then Nico Rosberg rounding out the podium. Then you got the two Finns, Kimi Raikkonen in fourth, like I said, played a very nice strategy, was never really involved with the battle for the lead, but got himself involved. And then Valtteri Bottas, who was only 2 seconds off Raikkonen in the end, so it actually ended up being quite close there at the front. I didn't even know Bottas was actually near us in the battle. Then you got the other Williams of Felipe Massa in 6th place, then Jenson Button in 7th, John-Eric Vergne, then Lewis Hamilton finished down in 9th with a 5-second penalty, and Sergio Perez finished in the points also with a 5-second penalty, so I'm not too sure what has happened there, but both of those drivers have got a 5-second penalty. Then outside the points we have Romain Grosjean, and then everyone else has been lapped, including Adrian Sutil, Max Chilton, who almost cost us that Red Bull 1-2 at the end of the race there, really getting in our way. That's what I was talking about just before that final lap, how I was so aggressive getting past Jules just for that reason, because I knew through that section it would be very hard to get past the lap car and we'll get stuck. That's why I was so aggressive around the outside, and we got stuck behind his teammate Max Chilton in that exact same spot, and that just proves what I was trying to say. And then you got Pastor Maldonado, Kevin Magnussen having Not a very good race for the McLaren down in 15th place, getting beaten by the likes of Max Chilton, Adrian Sutil, and Pastor Maldonado. Then you got Daniel Kvyat, our replacement, down in 16th, and Kamui Kobayashi, Esteban Gutierrez, Fernando Alonso having an absolute shocker down in 19th, but he also has a 5-second penalty. We did see him spun on the just before the second to last corner there, and someone else had a penalty above. Daniel Kvyat had a penalty, and so did Jules Bianchi, who finished the last out of the finishers with Marcus Ericsson just in front of him. And after Nico Hulkenberg's brilliant qualifying performance, actually out-qualifying us and getting 4th place on the grid, he did not finish the race. Okay, if we have a look at the championship standings, Nico Rosberg has extended his lead to 1 entire race win over Lewis Hamilton. In 3rd place is our teammate Daniel Ricciardo, who is now 6 points clear of us in 4th place. We have only been teammates with him for a few races, but hopefully we can still beat him overall in the championship. Then behind us are the 2 Williams, with Valtteri Bottas in 5th place, 12 points clear of his teammate Felipe Massa, and he is only 10 points behind us. Then in 7th and 8th is the 2 Ferraris, with Kimi Raikkonen leading Fernando Alonso. Then you got Sebastian Vettel in 9th place, who of course doesn't have a drive anymore. Then you got the 2 McLarens in 10th and 11th, with Jenson Button leading Kevin Magnussen by actually a lot of points considering how many points they've actually scored this season. And if we have a look at the Constructors' Championship, despite Mercedes' poor result here in America, they still have over a 100-point lead to us in 2nd place, Red Bull Racing. And then about 80 points or so behind us is Williams in 3rd, then Ferrari in 4th, and a long way back you get Toro Rosso in 5th, who are still going strong ahead of McLaren, only by 4 points, so it'll be interesting to see if Toro Rosso can hold on to that 5th position in the Constructors off the back of some of our strong results at the start of the season. Then 7th place is Force India, sort of all by themselves there in 7th. They're way too far off McLaren to catch them, and they're definitely not going to fall into the grasp of Sauber, who only have 7 points. And then in 9th place is Lotus with 2 points, and then in 10th and 11th, Marussia and Caterham are tied for 1 point apiece. But that is all for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, make sure to smash that like button. If you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.